Applebee's 2 for $20. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood.
Life is for living. And at First International Bank and Trust, we're all about living, helping your dreams come true. Because we're not just in the banking business. We're in the first home business, the community sponsorship business, the how do I make this happen business. Making your banking life easy so you can focus on what matters most. First International Bank and Trust. Live first.
A family farm is, well, different. The cab of a tractor is the CEO's office. Board meetings are held on the bed of Grandpa's pickup. And a conference call is a holler across the yard to hurry your chores, kids, there's homework to be done. A family farm is about family pride as much as profit. Farmers Union Insurance believes this way of life is worth protecting because this isn't just where we work, it's also our family's home. Farmers Union Insurance, simply different.
Welcome into another episode of Toros All Access. As usual, I'm Ken Oda. Joining me tonight, Kobe Brault. Peter Theodos wanted to watch something called the World Series, something about the Phillies. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. It's hockey season.
Yes, but glad to have you all in. It's a big week in Toro country. We'll have head coach Cody Campbell on. I think you can see him over my shoulder in just a bit to talk about the hockey side. We have another special guest, but first, Kobe, I'm going to put you on the hot seat. We're now a quarter of the way into your first season working in hockey. What's your experience been like working, doing home games with the Toros?
It's been incredible so far. The fan base is, top tier. I haven't been on the road yet, but when they go on the road, I'm usually cutting goals. And from what I've seen around the rest of the Central, they don't really hold a candle to our fans as far as just the atmosphere every single night. And you can see the guys feeding off it, and you can see it with our home record as well. I've been having a great time, and kind of trying to find my footing more and more. This is my first time ever in hockey, so definitely a learning curve. But I feel like every game I'm getting a little more comfortable, anyways. And yeah, it's been great. Working so close with Brad and with UMV and Peter and everyone else on the game ops staff. It's been a really good time so far.
This weekend, a big weekend. We'll get right to it. Together with Veterans Weekend, we'll bring in our guest from Together with Veterans, Max. Max, welcome in. And how excited are you for this weekend and the Toro games and the jerseys that you're modeling for us?
Proudly, courtesy of you and the Toros team. You guys designed the logo, the jersey with us. It's got our logo with Together with Veterans. So we are so excited, just the opportunity of you guys being able to partner with us to let us do our mission, which is to help end veteran suicide in the rural areas. So what we're going to be kicking off tomorrow is a QR-based app to where veterans and their families, where they can actually text-based messaging free of charge to them. We are footing the bill. So the fundraising that you guys are helping us to do is going to allow us to help veterans and their families. So from the bottom of our hearts, from the board of directors and the rest of the staff from Together with Veterans, it's thank you so much, because we can't do it without you and the partnership that the Toros and Together with Veterans, we're just excited to see it grow in the future.
I became aware of you guys just last summer, so not that long ago. You're still a relatively new organization in the Minot area, correct?
Correct, yeah. We're barely about 1 year into it, so we're just finalizing all the paperwork, starting events now. So really we're a baby organization, but some of the things we're able to do right now has just been quite amazing. So a lot of good changes in the last year.
Tell us a little bit about that, the projects from the last year or so.
So we spent most of the last year just kind of building it up. So really the administrative side of setting up the fundraising, all the paperwork, going through the state, the IRS, all the fun that entails, as you guys know, as a business. So really our first big event that we did was on September 11th. Just coincidentally, that was when the park was open. Really, that was just an opening barbecue to let the community know that we exist. Right now, we're also developing a peer-to-peer support group, so we're in the process of building that up to cater to the needs of what the community does not have. So other organizations, they do different peer-to-peer groups, so we're kind of filling in that gap between the two, as well as doing some other events just to get veterans outside of their home if they're in the dark place or they're out in the community interacting with other people. So we're really looking forward to building our event staff and the things that we can offer to the veterans and their community here, and as well as all the active duty members as well.
And I guess kind of piggybacking off that, where do you guys as the board of directors kind of see this going? Obviously, like we said, a relatively new program. What kind of is the vision for you guys as far as like best case scenario?
The best case scenario, and this is the unicorn dream, is no veteran commits suicide within the Minot and the rural community, and really as a whole nationwide. Mm-hmm. That is the very, very best case scenario. And whether we save one person, then that's one less family that's mourning. So if we can save one, then that's even better.
Absolutely.
And that's where this weekend is focused as well with the jerseys, the fundraising. You touched on it a little bit. It's a QR code. There will be posters around the arena, and then eventually all around town for veterans to sign up. Correct.
Correct.
And then
yep.
Once they do sign up, you did say it is free to them. But once they're involved, how does this app help achieve the goal of preventing veteran suicide?
So the stigma with veterans, since being retired military myself, so there was always that stigma of if I'm going to seek mental health services that my career might suffer. I'll get looked upon by my peers that, hey, there's something wrong with this guy. So to break down the stigma of saying, yes, it's okay to go seek help, that's one of the things that's one of our goals. So it would enable them to, even if they're talking to a counselor, they're trained counselors on the other side of the app, or their master's level students gaining their internship hours.
Sure.
So if even they get to the point of where talking about it is going to be okay, and they're ready to see a professional face to face to help break that stigma of talking about what's going on in their head, that's a win for us.
So it's a chance for them to seek help without maybe in a big public way seeking help.
Correct. Yeah.
I know we've talked a lot about it throughout the week here as we've been promoting this. It's $1 per month per veteran, which doesn't sound like a lot, but given the size of the military community in Minot, I mean, how many people could this eventually end up reaching?
Oh, we're thinking easily thousands. And even if it's like the same, 1,000 people throughout the course of 12 months, or it could potentially be 4,000 people where, hey, I only need services for 3 months, and after 3 months, I'm doing okay.
Sure.
And then the next month, it's a brand new guy.
Yeah.
So, we have the potential to really grow. And for this QR-based app, originally came from the organization. Their name was called School Pulse. What that was a high school organization. They partnered with high schools, about 70 throughout the nation. And students can text the counselors, let them know how they're doing. Sometimes students are in crisis mode, as we all know, throughout the challenges of being a teenager in high school. So the counselors, they'd send messages of positivity, positive memes, positive podcasts. So then we took, School Pulse took that same concept and tailored that to veterans. So, messages relating to veterans that were in combat, vets that had PTSD, those kind of messages, that's what they'll send to our veterans that we're helping. So we are the first in the nation with this program right now. So we're the literal guinea pigs.
Sure.
So our success is going to really help determine the success nationwide if this thing blows up.
Awesome. Well, and that really is the key to it, is the more we can help this blow up. And Toro fans, you can bid on these jerseys right now, whether you're in the Toro's mobile app or you can check. We've put the link out the last 2 days on social as well, whether it's our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. You can find the link to the auction. Literally, every dollar provides a veteran with mental health services for a month. So, when you're looking at it, if someone outbids you and you have to go up by $5 more, that's 5 more veterans getting mental health services for a month, right?
Exactly.
So let's push that up. Our goal, or at least my goal, is $12,000, give 1,000 veterans mental health services for a year. Is there anything we've missed?
Yes, so we have partnered up, courtesy of the Minotauro staff. We have a Medal of Honor recipient, Clint Romesha.
Yes.
He will be signing a jersey, and that will be going up for auction as part of this fundraising group. So he is one of 65 living Medal of Honor recipients. So those in the military, you know how much of a big deal being the Medal of Honor is. So just him partnering with us and giving us his support means a lot to us as, veterans and supporting the veteran community.
Yes, so it's not just the 25 or 6 Toros that we have on the roster. There's also some jersey numbers that were unassigned, and then obviously the big one, the Clint Romesha one. Clint's been great to the Toros for years. He's come and he speaks to the team once a year. He's been great to us, and we're happy to help him hook up with you guys as well.
Yeah, and like I said, from all the staff, thank you so much. It's going to allow us to do our mission, which is to serve our fellow veterans.
All right, well that'll do it for Max. Max, thanks for coming on, and we'll let you get out of here. I know you've got your family back home, so we don't want to keep you too long, but
okay.
we appreciate you coming on, and hopefully we can help you guys reach your goal of preventing veteran suicide in Minot and the surrounding area.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Cody, we'll bring you up. So, thank you. Thanks again.
I'll shoot you details tomorrow about that luncheon.
As Cody comes in here, Colby, obviously you haven't done any of the kind of the big promotion weekends, but you did get your first taste of Trunk or Treat a couple weeks ago while I was gone. Mm-hmm. What were your impressions of Trunk or Treat and the job the Booster Club did?
I mean, the Booster Club did an incredible job. I don't know if madhouse is the right word to describe the Trunk or Treat, but it was a line quite literally around the entire Mesa Arena. And it was awesome to see all the kids dressed up. We had a real life It the Clown that was moving his way around the bowl the entire game, which some kids found terrifying. Other kids followed him around because they thought it was funny. But all in all, huge weekend. Thought it was a big success. Just across the board, and to be able to be out in the community like that, and we were at the Shields Trunk or Treat on actual Halloween, and it was probably pretty similar numbers if I had to guess. So all in all, it was huge, and another big weekend ahead here. Anything that we can do to help that's such a great organization. I'm super pumped that we get to partner with them to try to end that stigma, especially within the military, because obviously those guys are the ones that probably need mental help just as much as anybody else.
With a lot more than you or I
exactly.
are working in hockey.
And so to deal with that, or to help end that stigma is huge. And so hopefully we can have a similar weekend to that Trunk or Treat weekend, get everyone out and get a couple wins.
Speaking of getting a couple wins, Cody Campbell stepping in now. Cody, before we get to the hockey side, Max met with the team earlier today as well. How do you feel like the players kind of received the info about what these jerseys mean?
Well, I think it was awesome to get the background. It's cool to wear a specialty jersey and everything else, but for them to get the background and what the cause is, it was enlightening, I think, to our players. And after Max spoke, we spoke quickly just about the fact that all of our players know a veteran or have a veteran in their family member or in their family, or have friends that have family members that are veterans and that kind of stuff. And then also, like, one of their teammates is destined to be a veteran at some point, with Wesson Knox being committed to Air Force. So just to know what it goes to, I think it adds a little bit of responsibility to their shoulders, but I think it's going to give us a little bit of extra juice for the weekend as well.
Speaking of that weekend, lost in all of the military jersey stuff and together with veteran stuff, there's actually a pretty big couple of hockey games this Friday and Saturday night.
Yeah. I mean, this early in the season, I mean, everybody talks about standings and everything else. It's so early. I don't really pay attention to that, but we're playing a team that we haven't played yet this year, which is exciting. It's exciting to test ourselves and see where we measure up compared to them, and they've had good early season success as well. So we're looking forward to the challenge. We also play these guys not only this weekend but next weekend as well. So we have a kind of mini playoff series, something that we can look at as a training aid for us to as we move forward and prepare for hopefully the postseason down the line. But playing the same team 4 times in a row is always a tough task, and we're going to have to find different ways to win.
Obviously, first quarter of the season in the books, 15 out of 60 done. We talk about being in the battle for first place right now, but what are your overall impressions of this group through the first quarter of the season?
Very, very fun-loving, easy group of guys for newcomers to get along with, and I just feel like the cohesion has been fantastic within the locker room, and that's a credit to the players. They've done such a good job with that. Guys that were here last year, making sure that everybody knows the expectations and standards, and just welcoming the guys that weren't in. And on the ice, the early season success has been great. I think we have a lot of room to improve, though, which is exciting considering we're 10-5 or whatever right now. But I think we have a lot of room to continue to grow. So that's equally as exciting as the start. The fact that I think we have a lot of room in our game to get better. So we're going to keep working and keep taking things day by day and pushing to make sure that we get better continuously.
And obviously an exciting start to the first quarter of the year here. But in other big Toros news, a couple of commits in the last few weeks. Lawton Zachary to Brown and Hunter Longy to AIC. Kind of what is that? What do you think that means to the guys? Obviously that's the end goal for everyone that comes through the program, is to get a look and to get an offer and to be able to go to college and further their education. But what does it mean for you and for those guys to get that done this early in the year?
Well, we talked about this as a group after both guys announced their commitments. Like, all our players in the locker room played a hand in them attaining that goal. Nobody gets those things on their own, and Lawton doesn't have the success he has without the D laying down to block shots for him, and Hunter doesn't have the success he has without D breaking pucks out and giving him chances to play offense and create scoring opportunities and that kind of stuff. So everybody plays a role, and everybody should take pride in the fact that their teammates have gotten opportunities at the next level. And our expectation is that now those two guys turn around and continue to push the other guys that are uncommitted to help them achieve their goal at the end of the day. So it's nice to have a couple of those early, and with the way a lot of our guys have been playing, the amount of phone calls and positive interest and positive feedback that the staff has gotten has been really impressive, and we hope to continue that. We hope that a couple commits a month isn't anything out of the ordinary here the rest of the season.
Yeah, I feel like maybe this year things are starting to get back to normal. Last year we saw a lot of the commits come late, not just for our team but league-wide, right? And I think some of that had to do with the guys getting the COVID year and the transfer portal being what the transfer portal has become. But it seems like this year things are back to normal. We've got a couple of commits. I think Bismarck has picked up one. I think I saw a St. Cloud guy commit as well. So are things a little bit back to normal in the college recruiting process, or will they never go back to the way they were 4 years ago?
Yeah, I mean, they'll never go back to the way they were before the transfer portal, that's for sure. I think schools are just learning how to go about finding out if guys are taking their fifth year a little bit earlier, so they have time to, if that answer is no, or they're going to grad transfer or sign pro or whatever the case might be, they're just figuring out how to articulate that to their players so that they know sooner rather than later, so that they can build their future rosters. So I think it's a little bit of learning for everybody. But I do think there's definitely more normalcy in terms of the scouts that are in the building, and the schools not having restrictions on people leaving campus to travel and go recruit, for sure.
And obviously, looking ahead towards the future a little bit, signing 3 tenders right in the opening day of the tender portal. Is that what it's called? Tender window, yeah, one way or the other. Can you talk a little bit about those 3 guys and kind of their backstory a little bit?
Yeah, so first and foremost, big shout out goes out to Chris Lonke on that, our assistant GM. He does such a fantastic job of identifying talent, and then we work through, okay, what guys fit us the best? Do their personalities fit in with the types of personalities that tend to fit into here? Those kind of things. Does it address a need in the future? So he did a fantastic job here early, and that's a ever ongoing process. It's not just, tenders are available and we'll sign 3 kids. That's something like each of these 3 guys are guys that we've seen and tracked for the potential of this for over a year now. So a lot of time and effort goes into that by the entire staff. But just running through the 3 of them. Ian Spencer, Shattuck St. Mary's player, very hard-nosed, 2-way, high-motor player that's going to add offense for sure, but also be a guy that disrupts plays and is really difficult to play against. And a player that's very responsible without the puck as well. And he's going to fit in really well to the style of hockey we want to play. Ty James, 2005 D, playing for Omaha, very mobile, a little bit undersized, but very mobile, good skating defenseman, defends competitively, and has ability to add offense from the blue line for sure, whether that's from rushes or up at the point or just making solid exits out of our own zone to contribute to the offense. And then Blake Steenerson, 6'5" forward. That
teach size.
Can't teach that, but can skate. Very tenacious and competitive person, and that translates into him as a player as well. And has developed so much over the course of the last year, and the work that he's put in on his game just goes to show. In Minnesota Elite League, that's one of the top fall leagues in the entire country, and he was second in the league in goal and 4th in points. So a player that's going to come in, he's going to add size, he's going to add physicality, but he's also going to add a player that can put the puck in the back of the net and produce offensively. So really excited about adding those 3 right off the hop.
Obviously, I don't talk to these guys until the ink is dry on a tender. But I think the one thing that really caught my eye, talking to all 3 of them, they all mentioned connections they had to the program through players, whether they be Toro alum or current Toros. How much of a recruiting tool are those Toros alum or the guys who are currently here who love being Toros?
They're gigantic. Like the Houston Cartman called one of those 3 guys, and played a large role in the fact that he tendered with us. Weston Knox talked to one of the guys that he knew. Chase LaPinta talked to Spence because they played together at Shattuck. Ty James is buddies with Braden Beam now that he's down in Omaha. So those guys can hear what we have to say and what we're preaching to them in terms of recruits, but to hear of a positive experience from a player's point of view, to me that's what holds the most water. And the fact that we have a lot of players that have had really good experiences here in Minot over the history of the organization just goes to show the strength of the organization and the fact that when kids come here, they enjoy their time here and enjoy being part of the Minot community and a Toro in general.
How much confidence does that give you in what you're building to then be recruiting these guys and hear that, one of the guys says, "Oh yeah, Houston Cartman called me." Like, how much confidence does that give you in what you're doing?
It for sure does. I mean, obviously, you hope that Cartman's calling saying good things, which I know he was, but we want our kids here to enjoy their experience and develop as young men as much as they develop as hockey players, and it means a lot that guys will kind of second what we're saying as a staff, that this is the place that you want to play junior hockey if you want to develop as a person and get an opportunity to go on and play Division I college hockey. So it's definitely nice to hear, and like I said, those guys' opinions and what they say might hold more water than what the staff has in terms of their recruiting pitch.
And just kind of piggybacking off that, we mentioned the culture earlier, and kind of like you said, what goes into evaluating a guy. It's not always about talent. It's about guys that can fit in. And I feel like obviously Rome isn't built in a day. This is year 2 for you now, but just kind of having these returners and mesh really well with these rookies and kind of setting that up to be sustainable moving forward. What do you think that means as far as the returners and kind of the way that they're paving the way right now?
It means everything. I mean, they laid the foundation last year. They were part of that group, and now they're building upon it. And the guys that return next year will build upon that, and so on and so forth. So that's our hope, at least. But for that to happen, it's a process that we have to continually work on from our staff side to continue to get better and give them everything that they need to continue to get better. But from their side as well, that they're not okay with what we have right now. They want to push it to a new height. And you mentioned it, but our guys that are leading that right now have done a fantastic job, and that makes me really confident for the future, because the guys that are going to be doing that next year are going to have learned from guys that are doing a really good job so far this year.
Last thing I have for you before I let you go, obviously a really good start to the season. How confident, or what do you guys need to do? You said there's room to improve. What do you feel you guys need to do better to keep it going here through the next 45 games?
Honestly, like, we can improve on every aspect of our game, from special teams to cleaning up D-zone at times.
Despite the fact that every statistical category you guys are top 10 right now.
Yeah, despite that, we can continue to get better, and if we don't, people will pass us. So we've got to understand that as a group. But we can get better in every situation right now, from defending in our D zone coverage to our neutral zone and our transition, how quickly we can do that, to executing on offense and completing plays when we're attacking, and special teams, that kind of stuff. Like, that's the coolest part about this group is we've had early success here, and we feel like we're just scratching the surface of ultimately what we can be.
A lot of young guys, right? I think there's only 102 on the back end and maybe 5 or 6 up front, so a lot of guys early in their junior careers.
Yeah, exactly. And with that, normally with younger players, they just continue to get better throughout the course of the season. We saw that with Beamer last year. So that's our plan and our goal for the rest of the way here.
Awesome. Thank you, Cody. We had a couple quick comments on social. We should hit those quick.
Yeah, so Chelsea Waswick, sorry if I botched your last name. Yes, are you only auctioning jerseys, or will you be auctioning signed pucks and sticks and gloves too?
It'll be just the jerseys for auction. There will be commemorative pucks. We have 50 mystery pucks. They'll be going up tomorrow. Every guy will sign a couple, and then that'll still leave a couple extra pucks that will get signed as well. But 50 mystery pucks, you won't know whose puck you're getting. You'll buy a puck, and yeah, again, every piece of the profit, 100% of the profit is going to Together with Veterans. We're not taking a cut. Dash Auction, a huge shout out to them. They are usually on these, they do take a percentage. They believe in this cause so much that they're waiving their cut as well, to try and really get this program up and running. So that'll do it for us here from the Bonfire Studios North. For Sean Bacco and behind the scenes, Kobe Brault, I'm Ken Oda. That was Cody Campbell. We'll talk to you again here in a couple of weeks.
too little.